Hello, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz and I will be guiding you on this journey today. I keep feeling called to make a little intro. I don't know, like it kind of almost feels like setting expectations. I'm not even, honestly, it keeps like cycling through my brain though to do it. And I feel like that alone is reason enough, to listen to it. So I'm not going to take any cards. I'm just going to shuffle and I'm just going to blab for a second. I'm not going to take any cards that come out though, because this is going to be the intro for all 24 readings that I do, because I cannot repeat myself that many times. Like I will legitimately implode. So, tarot for me has always been a way of organizing my thoughts and feelings. When I first got into tarot myself, like some big life things happened. And I needed to organize my thoughts. I needed to organize my feelings, and which is very Virgo moon of me with my Cancer rising, right? It's like, that the over analyzing, write everything down. And literally that's what I did. I had a whole notebook, and I had a page dedicated to every single tarot card. And I went through every tarot deck I had at the time and I wrote down the keywords. I was watching tarot videos on YouTube myself. And anytime somebody would say something about a specific card that resonated with me or was like, ooh, that's actually a really cool perspective or way of like understanding that card or combination of cards. And I would write it down in my little notebook. And then I kind of expanded from there and started giving friends and family tarot readings. But anyway, all of that is to say, right? Like I'm not psychic. I'm not claiming to be psychic. I do know these cards and I trust the cards that come out. I trust the order that they do. I trust the message that is being given to me. So funny. There's the Queen of Swords. And also, that's why I explain each card, because it's definitely part of my own processing, but also giving you information on the cards so that you can use your own discernment. You can check in with your own intuition, because we all have it. And maybe I'm not saying what is coming through for you about a specific card, but that is very much a message for you to honor. So definitely pay attention to that, right? Like definitely pay attention to any type of whispers, feelings, just things that are dropping into your consciousness as you are watching these readings, because no doubt that is a message for you. I'm more than likely not predicting necessarily anything for you. I am probably confirming what you already know to be true in your situation. But also that is very important, right? Because, if you have confirmation that, again, right, like your thoughts, your feelings, the experience, the circumstance that you're going through right now is actually what is going on, then it almost like frees up the energy. It frees up some mind space, some consciousness, almost even like opens your receptors to what's next. Like, okay, that is true. I don't have to necessarily focus on that so much anymore and kind of, spin my wheels on that. But yeah, so again, right? I mean, I may not be predicting anything for you. It's interesting because like, I don't necessarily think that's like my purpose right now, but at the same time, like I do feel like that's changing a little bit for me. And I'm keeping my receptors open, right? Like I'm welcoming the energy, however it is going to change, if it does. who knows? So yeah, like I said, I'm here to confirm things. I mean, who knows? Possibly predict shit. But where I thought there was, okay. Like I thought there I saw a card that was turned over. And ultimately allow energy to flow. So anyway, I think that is all that I want to say. For the time being, I can't tell you. I have no clue if I'm going to repeat something similar in the next series of videos. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, it's interesting. We'll see what happens. We go where the energy takes us as long as it feels good. And it did. So we did it. And with that, we're going to get into the readings. Also, before we both forget, hit that subscribe button. Just go ahead and do it. Hit the like button. Leave a comment would be cool too. But yeah, okay. With that being said, let's get into the readings. Great. So this is a reading for reflectors. I usually do the readings by human design profile, but I was running out of time. I'm not going to be able to do readings for the next 2 weeks or so. And anyway, I just didn't really plan things well enough. I just didn't think. Anyway, so I was super stressed out about getting 12 human design profile readings done in a short amount of time. And then it occurred to me, or this idea popped into my head, to do the readings by human design type, because I've never done that. I haven't yet anyway. And so yeah, I mean, 4 is better than 12. So I'm doing these by human design type. So if you are a reflector, welcome. If you know a reflector, welcome. And of course, I'm just going to shuffle until we get a couple cards out. I do not take the cards that flip in the deck. My decks and I have all had the conversation individually because I want commitment, So if it is part of the message, then it does have to fall on the table, not just flip in the deck. So we have the 9 of Wands to start. I just heard in my head feeling rushed, and I'm not sure if that's for you or for me or for both of us. Which honestly, I mean, it would even make sense if it, even just saying that, because, reflectors, right? You have no defined centers, completely open, right? So it does have this mirroring effect with your environment, reflecting, of course, right? Reflecting the energy of others. So honestly, it's kind of funny that I even said that. So I don't know why I feel like as I was touching the card, this one was the Empress was trying to move over this way. So yeah, we'll see. When we get to these cards, we might just talk about them in both ways. But Empress, Ace of Wands, Knight of Swords. We have the Strength card at the bottom of the deck, Justice, the Lovers, King of Pentacles, the Moon. I knew the Moon was going to show up somewhere. I don't know. I just kind of kept thinking about it. So yeah, we'll get there. So yeah, we start with the 9 of Wands. I was just sitting here, just kind of feeling into it. The 9 of Wands is the wounded warrior. I mean, as we can see, right? Can you see that? Let me move these down a little bit. I know the light can be reflective. I'm sorry. But yeah, hopefully you can see that better now. But yeah, wounded warrior, right? I mean, we can see she's got this bandage around her head. There's these 7 wands on the ground here. It's fighting something off. but also being victorious, right? Because these 7 wands are on the ground. Nobody is in sight, right? So there's a couple different things that's coming through with this. It could be because wands have to do with the actions that we take, the motivation behind the actions that we take, creativity, passion. How are we communicating those things? I also see wands as being information by way of experience, because that's how we figure things out, is by trying, by doing, by taking action, right? And truly, the only way to really figure something out is by trying it. What works, what doesn't work, what do you like, what don't you like, what stays, what goes, right? So, because, right, like there's so many times where I've picked up a hobby thinking that I was going to love it and it was going to become basically my whole personality. And I tried it, hated it. There's also been times where I was like, oh, that's not really my jam. I tried it and it was totally my jam. And, I mean, of course, otherwise, like anywhere in between. So, trying things, you get information, you gain wisdom, life experience type of thing, life lessons also. But that's not all sunshine and rainbows all the time either, right? I mean, this could be a bit of burnout, especially with you being so open. I would highly recommend making sure that you are clearing yourself, developing a practice around clearing out your energy, whether it's an intention, because it certainly could just be that, right? It could just happen just like that. Any of the energy that is not yours, you set the intention for it to clear out of your energy field. You might even get to a point where it happens that fast. If it's newish to you, then it is being very intentional and maybe spending a bit more time being sure that you are like clearing out, literally, I mean, from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head, however that looks like to you. For me, I always imagine that energy funneling out through my crown, and as it's funneling out, it's being cleansed, purified, right? Like it's literally becoming just pure energy with nothing attached to it, available in the ethers for whoever needs it, right? Like anytime you say, give me strength, right? Like you're pulling down from the energy in the ethers. Again, that's my belief. That's what I do. There's also been times where I have laid down and, held my hands in a way where I was like holding a ball and imagined, energy coming out of my body and filling the ball, and I would assign a color to it, whatever color popped into my head, right? And as it's filling full of energy, I would allow my hands to separate and get larger, like the ball was getting bigger, right? And then once I felt like all of everything was out of me that I intended, again, setting the intention to clear the energy, purify it, and then literally tossing it into the ether. So it's definitely more of like a physical practice that way. But again, right? I mean, just whichever way works best for you. Taking baths, even, standing under the shower and setting the intention that any gunk energetically, anything that is not yours, it's being washed down the drain. But always, 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 always set the intention for that energy to be purified, because you don't want funky energy in your pipes either. So again, that's just me, not trying to like necessarily like fear monger or anything like that. But I don't want any type of funky energy anywhere, right? Like I don't want it on me. I don't want it in me. And I don't want it out just like floating around. I've also even asked trees to transmute energy. Like I've literally set the intention, right, for a tree to take the energy that is, funky within me, photosynthesize it, do whatever trees do, right? And then just make it available, because it is like the purest form of energy then, right? Like make it available for whoever needs it, even if it is me or whoever. Okay. So you get what I'm saying. So yeah, that could be what is going on here with the 9 of Wands. It could be burnout. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but it certainly could be burnout. It's like putting a lot of effort into a thing. It could, of course, too, be putting your energy into something that is not satisfying. Sorry, my dog started going crazy at somebody out the window. So let him bark for a little bit, like patrolling the sidewalk. But anyway, so I kind of like forgot where I was, and I know we're still talking about this 9 of Wands here, but again, right? I mean, 9s are also individual completion. There is a level of, I want to say finality here, or like even, we're talking about energy. The energy is available here to take a rest for one thing, because if it is burnout, you definitely need to rest, and not necessarily sleep, unless you need sleep, but it is like separating yourself from the hustle, taking yourself literally out of that energy. And again, maybe it is important for you to flush your body, your aura, your energy centers. I mean, just specifically, since we are talking human design, right? It could be literally setting the intention for each energy center and clearing out any gunk there. And I mean, it could be as fast or as slow as you want it to be. But again, right, like the energy with the 9 of Wands, like sure, they're beat up, but they are still standing. So the message with it is to allow yourself time to rest, but also you're not quite at the end of the road, right? I mean, we still have the 10 of Wands. It's like, truly, you're like right there, right? Like you can totally see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not going anywhere, right? So just give yourself a minute to just even recenter before moving on. And look what we have over here too. We have the Empress, we have the Ace of Wands, we have the Knight of Swords. The Empress, something is growing here. You could be trying to create something in your own image, whatever that is, right? Like we're literally trying to manifest something, give birth to something that is more in alignment with you, because the Empress is generally depicted as being pregnant. And of course, if you are trying to expand your family, this would be a good omen for that. Otherwise, again, right? Like there's something being incubated here, something that is still growing, but it would be your own creation. And even with Wands, right? Because we have the 9 of Wands, we have the Ace of Wands here. That is too about creation, creativity, right? Like putting your energy into something that you are passionate about. This is also the divine feminine as far as energy goes, not the gender, but nurturing, intuitive, receiving, right? Like the Empress isn't going to chase anything or anyone. They're going to come to her. The nurturing aspect, putting your love, your time, your energy, your resources into a thing in order to give it the best possible environment, the best possible chance at growing, right? This is Taurus and Libra. It's Venus, who is retrograde in Pisces right now, but I believe it goes direct on April 11th or 12th. So, you might feel just a shift in energy around that time. This again can even be taking care of yourself. The Ace of Wands, that spark of creation, that spark of desire. It's like almost, the energy that's missing over here in the Nine of Wands. And again, right, it like taking care of yourself, reestablishing your intention, really being sure that you are giving yourself the thing, whatever it is, the project, the whatever it is, right? Like being sure to give it the attention that it needs, and also allowing it time to grow and allowing it time to change. Because, right, like we start off, if we're thinking pregnancy here, just using that as an analogy or metaphor, whichever one it is, we start off literally a cluster of cells, right? There's one cell that is the egg, right? I'm not going to go through the whole biology. You get, right? Like that turns into a cluster of cells, right? And then like just being in the correct environment, which is literally in the womb, then, these other things start developing. Our nervous system, right? Our circulatory system, the organs in our body, our literal skeletal structure and everything, right? I mean, I don't know. I think that's really cool to think of it in terms of that, because, how we start off to how we are when we're literally birthed, right? Like it's truly a miracle. So also, again, like allowing things to mold and shift and something, else to be added, right? Like just understanding too, that's part of the process. That's part of doing is, it's taking out the things that you don't enjoy doing or that you don't like or that don't work, right? And it's adding things that you do enjoy, that you do like, that do fit, right? So, and then we have all of these different elements here in the Ace of Wands, even just having a new, or like reestablishing your intention. And God, how many times have I said intention or energy in this reading? But those are the words that are coming through. So I'm just going to keep saying it could even be finding something else that you really enjoy doing, focusing your attention on something else for the time being, and knowing that this thing, it's not going to go anywhere. The Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight in the tarot. They're just shooting off towards something. Swords have to do with our mind, our belief systems, our mindset. I also see swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego, is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, circumstances, feelings. And it becomes our belief system. It becomes our personality, our temperament, the reasons why we do and don't do certain things. So this would be either following a new belief system, heading towards a new idea, shifting mindset, and how fast that can get energy to start moving. I mean, look at this poor cat is like, ah, they're just moving towards. It could be trying out something new. Like you have a new idea, new inspiration, and it would be trying that out. And truly, like it would happen as a result of giving yourself a break. I love that we have the Strength card on top of the Nine of Wands, because like, that is literally probably taking up a lot of energy. The Justice card, who is Libra, on top of the Empress card, the Lovers on top of the Ace of Wands, King of Pentacles on top of the Knight of Swords, and then, like I said, the Moon, which, I mean, look at the Moon. This cat is looking at their reflection, and the reflection is a panther. I love this Moon card. The star under it. Kidding me? Talk about surprise. Trusting the process with the Star card, Even with the moon, it's like not knowing exactly how it's going to work, but it is. And being shocked about it. But yeah, like I said, with the strength card, this is Leo. Mars is going to be going into Leo in April also. But being able to just keep this tornado at bay while, giving her attention to the lion and this cat down here. I truly, right? Like focus on the things that you enjoy, that give you energy, that don't gunk up your energy centers like this tornado would. Again, right? Like clearing them out, the justice card, the scales balancing, fairness. This also is like karma and fate. Truth, which is also swords, divine truth, honesty, the Lover's card. I mean, it could be making connections, but the Lover's card talks more about decisions, choices. I feel like what is actually really kind of funny, if you can see this, is the Justice card is sitting behind this purple curtain here, right? There's this purple curtain here with the Lovers. They could be on the other side of this Justice card. But it's like, what is the thing that is influencing your decisions or your choices? This would also be remaining in your integrity, being honest, either with yourself, with other people, with whatever, right? And it's kind of like, if you remain in your integrity, stay honest, that's where the decision becomes clear. The Lover's card is also about like the balancing of the masculine and feminine energies too, yin and yang, right? And just the dance between them and how important it is to be, in the masculine energy of initiating, going for it, right? Like the oomph, taking control of things. And then the feminine energy, there's a time and a place for, of course, like being led by intuition, allowing things to come to you. Like you put in so much energy, now allow the energy to meet you there. Right? And again, nurturing the thing, being sure to either, take care of yourself, take care of, the project, I mean, whatever it is, right? I mean, it depends on however it's like resonating for you. The King of Pentacles on top of the Knight of Swords. Like, this is success. This is literally having your cake and eating it too. He's holding a chocolate cake. There's a glass of wine in his hand. It's success monetarily even, but having a strong sense of stability. All of your needs are being met. So are other people. Even again, being in a place of authority and leadership. And then the moon at the bottom of the deck. You guys do have, that lunar authority. So again, any big decisions, give it a lunar cycle, 28 days. There's probably, more than likely, I haven't actually sought this out myself, but there are probably a lot of either groups on Facebook or information on Reddit or, individual blogs on how to go through, the lunar cycle, because the moon changes gates every, like 2.5-ish days. So, seeing if there's something activated, in your chart or any channels being made in your chart during those times, during that 28-day cycle, just something to be aware of. And then again, like the Star card behind there, hopes and dreams. Surprise. I love it. I'm leaving it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.